What if I told you that getting just 1% better every day could completely transform your life? It sounds almost too simple, right? But today, I'm going to show you how tiny, consistent improvements, those 1% gains, can literally 1000x your results over time. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have a game plan to start your own 1% journey today. Let's start with a question. Have you ever tried to make a huge change overnight? Maybe you promised you'd go from zero to hero at the gym, or study 3 hours a night, or suddenly wake up at 5 a.m. every day. How did that work out? Here's the truth: big, drastic changes rarely stick, but small, consistent improvements, that's where the magic happens. If you improve by just 1% each day, you'll be 37 times better after a year. That's the power of compounding. Tiny gains multiplied over time, leading to massive results. Let's break it down with some quick math. If you start at 1 and improve by 1% every day for 365 days, you don't end up at 2, you end up at over 37. That's exponential growth. It works the other way too. If you get 1% worse every day, you're almost at 0 after a year. So every little choice you make really does matter. On the screen, I showed a little diagram from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is where the concept of 1% better comes from, or at least in my case, where it comes from. I'm going to show you guys some real world examples of getting 1% better every day too. For example, in fitness, instead of trying to overhaul your entire routine, add just one more push up or walk 5 more minutes each day. Over time, those small gains add up to big changes. Personally, this is a good example for myself because when I first started to work out, I implemented this concept without even knowing. Getting in there and doing enough where it's not too challenging, but it's not too easy either, which allows you to do the action consistently over time without it feeling super overwhelming. When I was practicing my pull up movement, I could barely do it, but over time, I kept practicing every day and slowly getting 1% better. And in about 2 to 3 months, I was able to do 10 reps in a row at ease. That's the power of compounding. Next example is learning. Read one more page, or learn one new word, or practice a skill for just 5 extra minutes daily. In a year, you'll be amazed at your progress. I applied this same concept when I wanted to read more self improvement books back in 2021. Mind you, I was that guy that never finished a book in his life. I hated reading, but at this point in 2021, I wanted to make a change, so I focused on reading 10 pages minimum every day, and I logged it in an Excel sheet to track my progress. And some days, I would read way more than 10 pages, but the minimum was 10 pages every day. By the end of the year, I read 38 books in full. Not bad for a guy that never finished a book for 24 years of his life. The last example I'm going to show you guys is money. You guys can save just a tiny bit more each week or invest a little more consistently. The compound interest will work its magic. The best example for this is the classic S&P investment. The sooner you start investing, even if it's like $50 or $100 a month, that's going to compound greatly over a long enough period of time. Generally speaking, you want to hold that investment until you retire, but the concept is still the same. It's compounding its small gains over time to make an exponential difference. So you may ask, why does this work so well? Well, it's all about habits and momentum. You see, our brain, it loves patterns. When you make a tiny improvement, it's easy to stick with. Over time, these small wins will build confidence and motivation. You start to see yourself as someone who improves, and that identity shift is powerful. Remember my example of me never finishing a book for 24 years and then reading 38 books in just 1 year? That was a result of building a habit over time by just focusing on reading that minimum 10 pages every day. The small changes are sustainable. You're not burning out or you're not giving up after a week. You're building a lifestyle. At this point in the video, you're probably ready to get started, but here's how. Step 1, don't try to do everything at once. Choose one thing you want to improve at: fitness, learning, finances, relationships, whatever it is for you. Move on to step 2. You want to identify your 1% implementation. What's the one tiny improvement you can make today? It could be as simple as drinking one more glass of water, writing one more sentence, or making one more sales call. Moving on to step 3, you want to start to track things. You want to write it down, use an app, or mark it on your calendar. Seeing your progress is motivating. Also, it holds you accountable. Lastly, we have step 4, which is you want to stay consistent. This is not about perfection. It's about showing up. You miss a day, that's no big deal. Just get back on track. A bonus tip I can give you guys is perhaps you guys want to share your journey. You could tell a friend or even comment below on this video with your 1% goal. Sharing it and putting it into the world helps you to be more accountable to your actions. So here's a challenge I have for you guys. What's one area you guys want a 1000x? Drop it in the comments and tell me what your first 1% step is. Remember, the secret to massive success isn't in giant leaps. It's those tiny daily gains. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your life transform. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and share this with someone who needs a little motivation today. As always, thanks for watching and stay frosty, my friends.